Michael, victories like Tuesday, do they help with the spirit inside the camp when you've got such a long break until your next game?
I think it just helps keep the momentum. A different group was used. There was only 3 starters from the week before, and we've asked them to play exactly the same way. It's a difficult game because those against the younger teams, they quite often turn into basketball type games, which it did. But eventually they took some information at half time and implemented what we wanted them to do, and it was good. It was a good workout. You
said there were just 3 stars from the last game, and the boys who came in knew exactly how to play. Is that just going to show how important it is that the whole group are so well drilled on the training ground in terms of the in possession stuff and out of possession stuff?
The whole group will be used. We've specifically gone for a smaller group with added quality, which is what we think we have this year. And they will all be used at some point during the season, whether it's in these types of games or whether it's in first team games, and they all need to know what they're doing. So it's important when they're not in the team, they do pay attention in training, whether it's phases of play, patterns or even set plays, because the only reason they're here is because we value them as staff.
The players who did come into the team have asked you some quite good questions, haven't they, in terms of their performances? I think people like Jonty Smith scoring a hat-trick, it's a long time to wait now to the Walsall game, but it's definitely going to be something in the back of your mind.
Yeah, Alex earned his start last week. Obviously, Reg missed the Oldham game with a hamstring, but Alex, with the way he's been impacting games, and he did that last season. That's what we want. We want people to come in. Clem's been excellent when he's been coming on. Probably harshly to come out of the team when he did, but he's got his head down. Delivered another good performance the other night. Jonte, you can't do much more than score a hat-trick. So it's what we want. We don't want to work with 11 players. We want to work with 20 players. And they are, again, repeat myself, but they are all valued and important to us.
Given it was an under-21s team, of course, West Ham were using the competition for their youngsters. We spoke before the game about how the team down at Exeter in matchday 1 was a very young Cheltenham team, and again, bringing on 17-year-olds from the bench just goes to prove that this competition does have real benefit even for the League 2 clubs.
I think every game, the second half was more like a training session because we asked them to do something and they've sort of implemented it, and it was with an intensity and a purpose because there was a real game going on. The chance that we managed to throw bubbles on for, well, it was 15 minutes because there was so much injury time, and just give them a little exposure of what it's like. It's different to under 18s football. In the last game, obviously there was Archie and Chambo got a little feel of it, but the key is you still want to win the game. We've not become snobby. It's not we're tossing the game away. We want to win the game. The money's important to the club. The minutes are important to the players, and it's a competition that we want to go further in.
As we said, it does feel like quite a break now until that trip to Walsall. It would have been nice to have another game to keep the momentum going, but do you have to spin it into a bit of a positive this break and maybe implement and work on some things on the training pitches that maybe you wouldn't have had the chance to do so if games were Saturday, Tuesday?
I don't think we need to spin it. It is what it is. There's no point getting upset or too downbeat. The game's been called off. So the players will get a couple of days off now. There's been some work, a bit more classroom work today, and a few tweaks to how, like I said, the game on Tuesday, they asked a few different questions. So it's like, what do we do if that happens again? And then refuel, refresh mentally, physically, and we go again. So yeah, there's a bit more time on the training pitch, but it isn't a case of trying to turn it into anything. The reality is we didn't have a game, so how can we use it as a positive?
Gavin Riley and Ryan Broom have both been nominated for the September PFA Player of the Month award. Both got 3 goals in 5 League 2 matches, so nice for them to get some recognition and to have 2 players in that running for that award.
I think with Greavesy as well last week, or this week I think it was, it's the club, the players are getting recognition, quite rightly so as well, for the performance that they've been delivering. The team are going well, and there's always going to be 2 or 3 individuals who get the headlines, but as long as the team's doing well, everyone's doing well.
And finally, you've been named Manager of the Month for September as well. Must be good recognition for your work as well.
The staff are only a reflection on what the players do. So obviously it's a nice award, but it's more for the whole club really, because it's the board, the staff, the supporters, the players. I've always said it all the way along. If the team, the 11 that are on the pitch are doing well and winning, we all win. So it's a nice award to win, but I think it's more of a sign of recognition that other people outside of Cheltenham are starting to recognise the work that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, you mentioned being recognised, obviously the awards that the club and certain players have been receiving. We had Football Focus here today doing some media work as well. But for you, of course, it's keep the head down, little Cheltenham, underdog mentality, and not getting too ahead of ourselves at all.
It's win the next game. It was when we couldn't win for 8, 9, 10 games, it was always win the next game and take it from there. And if you win enough games, you never know what might happen. But the moment you start looking over the horizon, thinking what if this and what if that, you've taken your eye off the ball and you've lost 3 games on the spin. So I'm realistic enough to know that as a manager, if I lose 4 or 5, I'm potentially going to get the sack. So that's why I don't worry about the future, because I'll deal with the here and now. The here and now is rest up at the weekend, preparing for next week at Walsall, and we go again.